Together we are but first coffee. Susie's just our host, but what matters most is we are a team. Together we are all safe here, and so are you. Among friends and mods we are safe. We talk about trauma, break down drama of life, death, happy or sad, even mad. We discuss it all here. Together we will thrive, not just survive. We will dry each other's tears, celebrate big or small wins, and chase away the fears. Together we fight cults or fight addictions. If not with experience, with love, and we don't judge. Please understand, this is a safe place to land. Please understand, you're not alone. This is a safe place to land. Together we thrive, not just survive. We will dry each other's tears, celebrate big or small wins, and chase away the fears. Because we are but first coffee, and Susie welcomes us all here. Together we are but first coffee, and Susie.
Hi, everybody. It's good to be back. Happy Friday. Yeah. John was like saying, Happy Friday, everybody. And I'm like, yeah, it's Friday. How's everybody doing? I'm doing really good. It's been a kind of a, I don't know, I started to say lazy day, but I've actually been pretty busy. So, yeah, it's good to see everybody coming in. This is Vlogmas night 12. Isn't that exciting? We are officially halfway through. Yeah. Hmm. Anyway, I'm glad you're doing good, Julia. I really am. Very glad. So, Ms. Diva Forever. Hi. Hi. Good to see you. Good to see you. Ben's here. B's here. Jan and John is here. And Heat is here. Also, Marilee. Absolutely. Lots of great people here. And no telling who all is in the lurking positions, right? uh, Julia, could you send me an email to my email address that's going across the screen so I can get your email? I was needing to talk to you about something. So if you could just like send me send me an email so I'll have your email. That would be great. So John just entered the backstage so he could star comments for us. Yeah, let's see here. Just don't want to miss anybody. I try to keep up with everybody as they come in, but I often miss them. So let's see here. Anybody else? So was anybody watching the Clearwater crew when they were protesting tonight? I got in on it, but I got in a little bit late, and I was watching Aaron's stream because I wanted to see like if anybody was giving him any trouble or anything. And I guess I had missed, but I'm gonna go back later and watch it. At the beginning of his stream when he first got there, they went earlier than normal, like at 4:30 or something instead of like 5 or 5:30. But anyway, I guess a Scientologist came up to him and like slapped his phone, knocked it off his gimbal or tried to knock it off his gimbal or something. I'm not sure. I'm going to go back and watch and see. Do you like these are the bigger elf ears. Yeah, and they actually I have earrings that are supposed to attach to it, but I finally figured out that I'm actually supposed to just wear them myself, and it looks like it attaches to it. Because I sat there for probably 20 minutes thinking, "These are not going to attach. There's not a hole." So, you think the cheese is listening? How I'm not following. Live long and prosper. See, smart aleck. Hey, I like Spock. If we're gonna be like, Trekkies, then I'm a Spock fan. So, anyway, I like that name, Ms. Diva. That's a cool name. I like it. Oh, yeah, you love dropping I know, and, you know, I'm not even I'm not even kidding. Sometimes it takes me a minute, or I have to, like, sit and think about it, and I'm like, "I'm not even really sure I was supposed to have understood what that was." So, Miss Diva is a Trekkie? Well, cool. Joya loved Star Trek. I actually kind of liked it. I mean, it's cheesy as all get out, but I liked it. Is that what you were Yes. That's why you were talking about the cheese, Star Trek being cheesy. Uh, then clearly you got confused about Queen's Gambit. I love that. I love that movie. I was never a Captain Kirk fan. Didn't like him at all. I only liked Spock. So, it's good to see everybody. Really? Marilee's mom was a huge Trek fan. Wow. B, what's Star Trek? You don't know what Star Trek is, or are you just being what's a chess move? See, y'all are just trying to confuse me. Oh, well. If they can't confuse me, then they get bored probably because they don't have a whole lot of trolls usually to fight on here, which I'm glad for. Don't get me wrong, but yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. John is in the back room and he will be or whatever they call it. But anyway, he'll be back there um starring comments for us. And so anyway, and like I said, we are on night 12 of our first official Vlogmas year. So we are doing pretty good. I did miss the one because I had a migraine, but other than that, we've done pretty good. And I am going to kind of put that one in with another one. So we'll actually do that whole, you know, topic, but we'll just do it kind of combined with another one. So we are entering the 12 days of Christmas, and Hanukkah does start in 2 days. And y'all, I'm not gonna lie, the the scans and the cons are at a high level right now. They have put it into high gear. I was watching several different things on the internet about it and how this year is really just a crazy year with a lot of scams and a lot of cons. And so we're going to talk about that tonight. And we're going to talk about the 8 biggest scams or cons that we need to be watching out for during this holiday season. So I did make a slide that lists them. And then, oh, oh, okay. Okay. Getting it a little bit now. Oh, Jan. B. I have some of the funniest mods when they get to talking. Okay, so the checklist, and we're going to just start at the top and go down to the bottom, y'all. So, number one on the checklist is the fake charity scam. And this one is really it's multifaceted. So, um, see, the nose is going to itch. I don't know what it is, but anyway, it's this time of year, not only are we feeling warm and fuzzy, but we also are kind of inherently trusting. And if we see somebody or something, that is in need, we want to help, right? Especially if it's something we can fairly easily do. So, anyway, so how can we avoid the fake charity scams? And so I do have a few ways that you can do that. We have to be able to check for the legitimacy of the charity, and I'm going to kind of tell you a few of the ways that you can do that. So, look the charity up on a trusted watchdog site. Even before you do that, just Google it and see what it says. And you know, you can learn a lot from just Googling something, but also if you have any doubt at all, of course, go and look this up on some watchdog sites. Another way is that you can verify that they have a 501(c)(3), which makes them a valid charity or foundation, that kind of thing, that is legally able to, take donations and all that. And so that's another really good way to do it. Another thing that you might wanna do is to check and see just exactly how do they spend their money? What do they do with those donations that we're making out of the absolute goodness of our hearts, right? We wanna help, but how do we know that our money is really helping? Well, you're gonna have to look into that. And this is a good idea with even well-known charities. There's a lot of controversy around even Goodwill and the Salvation Army and things like that. I personally have a beef with some of the breast cancer awareness charities, and the Susan G. Coleman one in particular. But anyway, so really check in and see, how do they spend that money? How much of it is going to, salaries and all of that kind of thing? I mean, obviously, they have to have people that are, if they get very big at all, they're going to have people that are, working and all that. But you can look into it. You can actually look up like their CEO and see what's their salary, because that salary is coming from your donations. So it's always a good idea to check that. So you can look for their clear mission, the impact that they have, and how transparent are they? Are they kind of sketchy? Do they kind of not put a lot of information out there? Are they kind of, you know, not just straight up, this is what we do? We build water wells in third world countries so that people can have safe drinking water, and this is how we do it, and this is, how many we've done, and this, that kind of thing. Look for real things. You know, that's like a lot of places that help with like the handicapped, they hire a lot of the handicapped, like Goodwill a lot of times, of course they make their money and everything. You donate the goods and then they sell it and make money. But they do hire a lot of handicap, but there's still a lot of controversy around them. I'm not saying don't donate to Goodwill. I do, but not money, but goods. I clothes, whatever. I donate that kind of stuff. So I might be donating a bunch this weekend if I don't get it all sold at this auction. So yeah, but check on that and see how transparent they are. If they act like that they're a little sketchy on it, look elsewhere. So research their reviews and look for news stories. Again, Google. You can go on there and look and see if there's any like real bad news stories about them, like where they have cheated people or where their CEO has been caught with his hand in the cookie jar kind of thing. Why are you laughing at me, Mark? Oh, okay. Google. he, he snickered at Google, and I'm like, you Google stuff all the time. So another thing that we need to do with these charities and stuff is to avoid pressure tactics. There shouldn't be anything that you don't have time to, like, think about it before you have to donate. If it's like you gotta do it right now, then that's not good. It I mean, even if they say we need to collect this much money this month or this week or something like that, that at least is giving you a little bit of warning that you could go, and find out some stuff and make sure that this is what you're interested in. But if it's like, "You gotta do it now. Right now. We gotta do this right now," then I'd back off, and that's what all the experts are saying. So, another thing you need to be aware of is this year in particular, there are a lot of pop-up charities, things that have just popped up, that are not, like, full-time charities, but they're coming out of the woodwork now. And a lot of those are not legitimate charities. They're relying solely on you to put some money in a bucket or that kind of a thing. Same thing with a lot of GoFundMe and all those kind of accounts. I'm not knocking those, but seriously, sometimes it gets completely out of hand. When I mean, people are living their life on GoFundMe sometimes. I can think of a couple that I know of. It's not in this community. It's in my real world community that they have always got some kind of a GoFundMe, going, and I'm just like, "Well, what's gonna be today's tragedy?" And I don't doubt that they're having a hard time, but it is constant, and that kind of thing can make it seem bad for others, is all I'm saying. So, another thing you can do, again, is look up their annual reports. That will, again, tell you who's getting paid what, where their money's going, how much did they collect, all of that. All of that, if it's a charity, is public knowledge. You can absolutely look that up. Another thing is, don't assume that all of the deeply emotional stories that we hear are true. And that can be people on the internet, that can be people in your, real world life. It can be, as little as you see somebody at the gas station that they said, I've lost my wallet, or the machine ate my card or whatever, and I just need gas money to get back to, wherever. Sometimes that's absolutely true, and sometimes it's not. Like, I absolutely just say sometimes you just gotta trust your gut. Like, one time, I was at this gas station, and there was a lady there, and she was, like, crying and upset, and she needed, gas money to get back to Oklahoma City, which is about an hour and a half or so from here. And she was like, "$5 will get me there. $5 will get me there." And I gave it to her, and she went and put gas in the car, and she left. But before she left, she asked for an address that she could mail me the money back, and I was like, "No, you don't have to do that." And she was just like, "Please, I'm not gonna take the money unless you give me an address." Well, at the time, I had a PO box. So, I felt a little safer. So, I gave her my PO box. It was actually my business address, but anyway, so I gave her the PO box, and do you know that in, like, 3 days, here was a check, and she sent me a check for 10, or not a check, it was a money order, and she sent me a money order for $10, and I had only given her 5. And so sometimes it is absolutely true, but you just gotta kind of see if if it sounds legit. I mean, she was literally asking for $5, and I don't know, I guess she could have asked 20 people for $5 and had, quite a little thing going, but she didn't. I watched her. She went and she put that $5 in the car, and she left. So, anyway, can't always assume they're not true, but you also can't always assume they are. There's a lot of people out there that would like to, rid you of some of your hard-earned cash. So, hold on just a second. So, if you are in doubt about some of the charities and everything that you see that are asking for help, it's always a good bet to choose a local charity that you know of. Help with a local food pantry. A lot of churches have those. Even schools have started having coat drives and stuff like that where they gather up coats for the kids that don't have it. There's always that kind of thing you can do. You can always, go to a school and pay some of the kids that have outstanding lunch bills. You can pay those, and you can pay a lot with just not very much money because those lunches, they're not expensive, but if a family's having a hard time, it's just one thing that, you know, sometimes it's just that one thing too much. And the sad thing is that a lot of the schools, if they have an outstanding lunch debt, they just won't feed them anything. I mean, they're supposed to, or I don't know if it's like a law, but it's kind of one of those things that they will give them like a peanut butter sandwich or something. But a lot of them don't do that. And a lot of the kids are too embarrassed to go because if they're sitting there with a peanut butter sandwich, they know that the other kids are gonna know that they owe a lunch ticket, that they haven't paid their lunch bill. So, yeah, there's a lot of things you can do. You can donate water to a fire department. There's just a lot of local needs that you can work with and keep that money local. But that kinda leads me also to those homeless people that we see on all the street corners or at the intersections. And for that, I really could not find any clear answer to whether to give them cash or not. Do you give them cash? Well, first of all, do you give them anything, right? And then, but if you are going to give them something, do you give them cash or do you give them food or like a care package of different things? Maybe there's a lot of snacks in there, and or maybe there's like those like gift certificates or something to even McDonald's or whatever. But, warm socks, that kind of thing. So, I really couldn't find anything that was a clear answer. Um, it again, I think it's just kind of you're gonna have to go with your gut, and I don't know. But the real thing, people are like they're always worried that, like, if you hand them cash, they might just use that and go buy alcohol or drugs, right? But, do you give them if you give them food or other kinds of supplies, is that kind of dehumanizing them? Like, it takes away their right to buy what they need, right? So, that's always kind of a strange you just don't know. But, basically, everything that I was looking into said it comes down to this: you are not responsible for controlling how another adult lives, what they do with their money. And once you gift someone money, it's out of your hands. It's you know, you can't like worry about that. You just have to if you're going to give them cash, then you have to be able to just, distance yourself and be like, I can't control what they're going to do with it, but I'm just going to leave it in their hands and hope they do what's right. And so, I have given cash to homeless people before. I I really I haven't done it a lot. I have mainly donated to homeless shelters and stuff like that. But I do realize that so many of the people don't even go to those shelters. And and especially if you're living somewhere where it's nicer weather year round, or if it's a time when the weather is nicer and stuff, they tend to go more if once that temperature starts dropping drastically. But yeah, I don't know. Some of them, they like to have that little bit of control of not going to the actual shelter. It's a I don't think we will ever completely understand it unless we're ever in that situation. And I personally know some people, our friend, Kelly Ford, uh, SPTV Kelly, she makes absolutely no secret of the fact that she has, in fact, at times in her life been homeless in a wheelchair at that. And she had pride, you know, which I think is great. I mean, if you take somebody's pride completely away, I mean, what do they have? What do they have left, you know? And so, yeah, I try to think of it as people like Kelly. She's a good person, you know. She just fell on some hard times, and drug and alcohol addiction puts a lot of people out on the streets, and that is really sad. And the saddest thing is according to statistics, it happens more at this time of year because people get into a deal where they can't afford their utilities, and so their utilities get cut off. Well, if they, don't keep their utilities up, then their apartment or whatever evicts them, and so pretty soon they're on the streets. They say that we're all just, one or two paychecks away from being homeless, and that's terrifying. But anyway, but yeah, it is also valid if you choose to give them goods or some sort of a kit, that kind of thing. That there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And, if they don't accept it, then I guess you got your answer, right? You know, I mean, I don't mean that like if they say, I really don't need this. I've got clothes, I've got all this. That's just being honest with you. But if they are just like, no, I don't want that, give me money, then I'd be like, oh, sorry, bye. That's just me. I can be a little mean sometimes, I guess, but generally I'm fairly nice. Okay. Number 2 on our list is package theft and those damn porch pirates, right? Has anybody here been bothered with porch pirates? I mean, you don't even have to have a porch, y'all. Just that if you have a package left outside your home and a thief steals it, guess what? That's a porch pirate. So, how can we try to avoid those? Well, there's no easy answer because they're pretty sneaky. But a few things that might work, and this doesn't mean you have to do all of these things. See what works for you, kind of thing. But you can maybe schedule delivery for when you know you're going to be home. Like if like that something's going to deliver on, say, a Monday, and you're not going to be home that Monday when it delivers, but you'll be home, on Wednesday or Saturday or something. You can actually, a lot of times, get a hold of places and have them send it to there. You can also, if you have to, you can put a stop, put a hold at your post office, and they won't send your mail out until you take it off, or you can say hold it for this many days, just like if you were on vacation and you did that. Takes a little bit of work on your part, but it might save you. So, um yeah, you can also have it where a delivery requires a signature, but that doesn't always work either. What were you talking about the other night, Mark, that somebody, they had a package, but somebody else just signed for it. And yeah, my aunt, she got a package from Bath and Body Works, and it was supposed to require a signature. Well, it got delivered not to her, and somebody just scribbled a name. I mean, like, you can't really even make it out. And so that doesn't always work. But another good thing is if you can, now, you have to make sure that this is allowed, but you can ship to work, a trusted friend or family member. I've never heard of this, but if you have this option available, you can use something called Amazon Locker. And they said it's not always available, but when it is, that it is a handy thing to do. So, but if you can't do those things, you can try to make your porch less stealable. Add a lockable delivery box. Have hidey spots, like a big planter that hides something, or you know have like leave directions for the person delivering it to put it around in the back, show them, tell them where the gate is to get around back, that kind of thing. um doesn't always work though. Again, none of these are going to work every single time. These are just like, you know try it, just try it. So they also said to avoid branded boxes, that you can actually tell a lot of places that are delivering that you want it delivered in in a plain brown box, that it's not marked that it's Best Buy, or that it's, Old Navy, or whatever the deal is. Porch Pirates look for those name brands on those boxes, because they know that's not your, box of cereal, your Metamucil, your toilet paper. They're looking for those, that they know this is probably electronics, or this is a bunch of, clothes and everything. And if nothing else, I can go get a refund, even if it's store credit, you know, they'll take it. They'll do that. So, yeah, it is kind of tough to do that if you live in an indoor apartment, like where your apartment, that the door opens into a hall. And don't kid yourself, your neighbors will also steal from you. And it doesn't matter where you live. I have known people that have lived in nice places, and they have had people like retirement homes, like really nice, and people steal right off of there. For one thing, people will actually, this time of year, if it's not a gated or, locked door entrance, they'll even come in and scan around after they see those delivery trucks come in, and see if there's any boxes to be stolen. They'll even dress in ways that make them look kind of like they're a delivery person, so that they kind of blend in a little bit. It's crazy the how they'll do it. Uh, Y'all, I live in the country, and you would think that I would be safe from, you know, porch pirates, but I'm not. And another problem we have out here in particular is the FedEx driver that delivers to this area. But I don't think it's just our area, because if I go on Facebook, people all around me, not just, right where I live, are always talking about these FedEx drivers that deliver to the wrong houses, just throw their stuff out on the side of the road. I mean, it is absolutely crazy. Do y'all hear my dog snoring? She's really sawing some logs tonight, y'all. So, yeah. So even out here in the country, we have sucky FedEx drivers, and everybody's always missing packages. Another thing they'll do is they'll say that they were delivered, and then they won't be. And then I'll get them like 2 days later. It is bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. Another way that you can kind of help with that is to have those video doorbells, or motion detected lights that light up if somebody walks up, because it gets dark most places, especially this time of year. It gets dark early. A lot of times you're probably coming home to a completely dark house, or dark porch or whatever. And so it doesn't take long for them to do that when it's that kind of deal. Like, we are like 1,500 feet from our mailbox. Like, it's down our driveway about 1,500 feet. And our mail people will just sit a package up on top of it and drive off. Well, all that takes is somebody, they don't even have to come to a stop. They can just kind of very slowly go by there and grab it and be gone. I can't even see my mailbox from the road. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. We've I don't know why we cannot get, and I'm not talking just about me, but in this country, I don't know why it's okay for people to just sit a box up on a mailbox 1,500 feet from somebody's house, or just to throw it out. That not very long ago, we got a message, and our several of our packages from Amazon and Temu were just thrown into this other man's. He's like a half a mile away from us, and it was just thrown inside his driveway, in the driveway. So it's like, how is that even legal? How are they getting away with that? So my daughter Megan, she had something that was supposed to be delivered by the post office, didn't show up. She actually looked on it and saw where it had been delivered to, and she went online, she got a hold of the person, and the person got it back to them. So, but you shouldn't have to do that. And another time she did that, and she got a hold of the post office because it didn't show a picture or anything of where they had left it. And then the post office was like, "Oh, I know where," the mail carrier was like, "Oh, I know where that's at. They're good people. I'll get it back to you. I'll have it there." Never showed up, but, because it was through Amazon, she was able to tell Amazon and got it replaced. But if the mail carrier knew where it was at, that means they knew that they left it at the wrong house. I don't get it, you know? I don't get it. So, anyway, you can also have visible deterrents like cameras. Even if a lot of times, even if they're not working, just having them will keep them from stealing things. You can put signs up that say that you have cameras, and all this stuff. And sometimes that will be a deterrent. Get real comfy with your neighbors. Maybe a nosy neighbor will pay a little bit of attention, and pay attention to your neighbors for them if you see something going on. You could put a beware of dog sign up, even if you don't have a dog outside or at all. Put a water bowl, maybe hang a leash. Get one at like a garage sale or something that looks like it's seen better days. So it's not like, oh, there's a brand new leash hanging there. This is, you know, but, make it look like there really is a dog on the place and not a tiny one. Although those tiny ones are usually more apt to bite than the big ones, in my opinion. So we just got to try. You got to, really try to be diligent with it. Another thing that you can do, or another thing you have to watch out for, is um, fake online stores. Now, y'all, we all see these Facebook stores, all these ads, right? And they're promising these amazing deals on these amazing products, and it's always this crazy sale price. But when you look at it, it's really not all that cheap. I mean, I'm sorry, but what was it the other day I was looking at, and I can't remember. I am trying to think. It was something like this. Oh, it was a makeup thing. It was a makeup thing, and they were like, it's, so much percent off. And I looked, and it was still $39. Well, I went and I punched it into Amazon. I punched in the same exact name, everything of what it was in that ad. And on Amazon, it was like $22. And I have Amazon Prime, so I actually even got free shipping where I was gonna have to pay like $6 for the other one to ship to me. So, check with Amazon or other places. I only buy, normally, Judy Blue jeans, and that's what they're called, is Judy Blue, and they're like $69, but if I go to Amazon, a lot of times I can find the same jeans, and they'll be a little bit cheaper or the same price, and I don't have to pay shipping. So, that's another one. I mean, we got to watch, because some of those stores that are selling you that stuff, they're not even real. I ordered some leggings. I don't know if y'all have seen them, but right now there's this whole big deal on Facebook for us ladies, y'all. And it's these leggings, but they look just like a like pantyhose, right? They look like that. It looks like your skin underneath, a color like coffee brown, or black or gray or something like that. And what it is there are these, like, I don't remember what it is, but it's like, oh, thermal type stuff, like furry looking on the inside to keep you really warm, and you can wear these under a dress or whatever, and it looks like it's your skin and yet you're toasty warm, right? Well, they're like $39. But if you go on Amazon and look them up, you can get them for the same price or cheaper. And I actually ordered some from this place that I actually had like I found them a little bit cheaper, but it was on an online store. And I am now into week 3, well into week 3 of waiting for them. And no, I didn't spend $39 for them, but still, I spent like $29 for them. And eventually they might show up. But the problem being is that it has taken forever where I could have gotten them on Amazon and had them in 2 days. And who knows if they're gonna be the size they say, because a lot of those online stores, even if they are legit, if you're looking at clothes and stuff, they are bringing them in from China and it's Asian sizing. So somebody like me that needs like a size 18 may get something that's like a size 6, and it is just not gonna it's not gonna work. My granddaughter gets a lot of hand-me-downs from stuff that doesn't fit. And she's little, so that gives you an idea. I mean, it's ridiculous. So, again, check this exact same. I mean, you can put in the exact name, everything of the product that you're looking at online into Amazon and find it there. Same with a lot of Walmart. You can do the same thing at Walmart, but you're getting a little bit of that Amazon or Walmart backing that you're not getting if you just order it from some store on Facebook or TikTok or whatever. TikTok shop has this makeup that I really like, this new foundation that I have just fallen in love with. I'm going to do a show maybe next week and show you all some of my favorite things that are very reasonably priced that I just don't know how I did without them. And anyway, so TikTok shop, I don't even have TikTok, but a friend of mine that does. And she bought this makeup off of TikTok, I can't say it, TikTok, and she loves it. So I looked at it again, 39.99 or 95 or something like that. They're always like the same price. Everything's the same price. I punched it into Amazon, the exact size, the same name, everything on it, and I got it for like 12 bucks. That's a huge savings. And I mean, it came in, it works exactly like my friend's does. Everything is great. I did actually buy one on Temu. It's a little bit smaller, but it was like a dollar something, less than $2. I'm gonna try it one of these days just to see if it holds up as good as the other one, and I'll let you know, because if it does, I'll be buying it on Temu for $2 instead of on Amazon for 12 or TikTok for 29 or 39 or whatever it was. 39.99. So, yeah, check those prices other places. Those stores just spring up, y'all, and a lot of them are fake. A lot of it, they're getting the exact same stuff as they're getting from Temu or Shein or those kind of things, but they're attaching a big price to it. And you just because they're a boutique. Well, anybody can be a boutique. Anybody. You can be a boutique on Facebook. So, yeah. Anyway, let's see what is next. Okay. Next on the list, number 4 is fishing scams. And we're not talking about salmon or trout, y'all. We are talking about fake businesses. And we'll touch on the whole romance part of the fishing thing a little bit later. But right now, we're going to talk about businesses. So, yeah, you got to really avoid unexpected emails or texts or anything like that, phone calls that you're getting. I don't know about you, but here in Oklahoma, and I don't know if it's everywhere else or what, but we just keep getting these phone calls, emails, everything, text messages that say that they just need for us to get a hold of them so that they can finish processing our $80,000 loan. I no, I don't want an $80,000 loan. If they want to just give me 80,000 and, wipe their hands of it, then sure. But if I'm going to have to pay that back, I don't want it. And I there's no way that it's even real. I don't know what their game plan is. I don't know what they're trying to do. But I think they're trying to get into our information so that then they can, get into our bank accounts or our credit cards and all that stuff. And even Mark said that several people at his work are getting those exact same calls. So really pay attention to that. Be on the lookout also for anything that you get. Make sure that that name is the legit one. Like, and it's not so blatant, like, if it's Old Navy, it's not going to say Gold Navy or something. It's going to say, and I say Old Navy because it's Christmas and everybody in my family loves Old Navy clothes. And so, yeah, I'll be shopping there in a couple of days, well, online. But so anyway, if it is, if Old Navy's, regular whatever that you punch in is a certain way, it's going to be almost exactly that, but maybe an extra letter or an extra number or an extra, forward slash or whatever. It is that easy for them to get these fake addresses, and it is an absolute scam. And yet we trust them when we go on there and we supposedly buy things or whatever, we enter in that credit card information. Not only are you not going to get the stuff you bought, but they now have your credit card information. Never give your password, any kind of code, your social security number, anything by text, nothing like that. Most legit things are never, ever going to ask you that stuff over the phone or in an email or a text or something like that. It's just not going to happen. It should always be, if you're handing that information over, you better know damn well that you are handing it over to the person you think you are. And they are really, really good. And with the all the AI stuff now, it used to be, that it would be somebody that sounded foreign or something, and we'd be like, this might not be legit. But now it's all AI. It sounds exactly like how we want it to. It comes from numbers in your area. I get phone calls. I went today. It took me almost 2 hours to delete and block and report all these numbers that I get from right here in my little town that doesn't even have a stoplight, but it apparently has all these big businesses and stuff in there that, want to sell me stuff and give me loans for $80,000. Pretty sure that the bank is not trying to give me a loan. And there's what, one bank in Drumright? I mean, there's is there still that little, like a two? Oh yeah, well that's just like a drive through. It's not like an actual, there's not a person there. It's just a thing. But anyway, yeah. Never give any information over the phone or email or text or anything, please. Um, yeah, you got to 100% verify them. You got to really be able to verify that that's them. Okay. Also, what about those urgent, threatening messages? Yeah. No. Unless if they're calling and they're saying this is your utility company and we're going to shut off your utilities, if it is not that, you absolutely know that, you owe back utilities and that this is in fact your utility company, you need to hang up and call your utility company and talk to somebody. Don't just take their word for it over the phone, and the numbers will look legit. Like, I'm not kidding. I rarely get numbers that are from towns that I don't recognize. I mean, what's really funny is some of them will be some little dink town that I absolutely know. There is not even a business there. There is not even a gas station, but they'll have some big old bank gonna loan me money. So, yeah. Don't open attachments unless you can verify that you have asked for that email or that the place that you're getting that email from and report and delete anything that even looks a little bit suspicious. Let the professionals check into it and see if it's suspicious or not. You got to be very careful, very careful. Now, the next scam that we're talking about is the gift card scams. And I'm sure that you all have heard about this where, you know, that they'll pretend like it's your grandson and he's in jail and I need you to send me this much money on a gift card to this address so I can get out of jail. Or again, a utility company that wants you to pay with a gift card. No. If somebody is asking you to pay them with a gift card, it's like 99.9999% that it's a fake, that it is a scam, that it is a con. It is just if they are calling and asking you for that. Now there are situations where you can have a gift card to something and pay that, obviously. But if they are calling and specifically asking for a gift card or I can't remember what the other one was. Damn it. Oh, a wire transfer. That's it. No. Verify, verify, verify. Please. Okay. And those really like to get the senior citizens. When my mom worked at a store here close to us, we had some people that came into the store and they were trying to buy like thousands of dollars worth of gift cards. Not all on one, but several. It was gonna be like 10 gift cards. So much on this one, so much on that one, so much on this one. They had the cash, they were trying to do it, and they got angry at my mom because she was trying to talk them out of it and telling them no. Mom even called the police chief up there, and he came up there and was trying to tell them, "This is a scam." And they were angry with the police chief, didn't wanna believe him. Now, they ended up buying them, not from there, they went somewhere else and bought them. But I don't know how they did it, but the police chief was involved in they somehow tracking this. I just wouldn't have bought them. I would have just been like, "Sorry, no, I'm not doing it." So, next, fake vacation deals. Y'all, if it is what it seems like is a too good to be true price, it probably is. Now, that's not always. One time Mark got a too good to be true deal on a trip to Hawaii. Was that our first trip? Yeah, it was our first trip to Maui. Right, our first trip to Maui. Uh, it was unreal. It was like $5,000 and that was like it was a nice uh what's it called, Marco? Where we stayed. Like a resort. The word wasn't coming. Yeah, it was like a 4 or 5-star resort. It was the airfare, the car, everything, right? Kind of everything but your food. Yeah, it was 3 nights and 4 days, but still for like 5 grand, that's crazy cheap, especially for this resort that it was at and the airfare. So we ended up buying it and I was like, book it. And then I thought, oh God, what if this is? But you know what? We were able to get verifications from everything, from the resort, from the airfare, from the rent a car, everything. And so if you can't get, you know, verification from everything individually, don't do it. Just don't do it. And especially if it's a high pressure thing. This is a sale that we've got going for, 10 minutes or 1 hour and 1 hour only. And if, the first 500 people that do this are going to get it, or the first 25 people, whatever. No, just don't. And stay away from those people that compliment your clothing when you're walking through a touristy place or they, oh, your perfume smells lovely. What kind of perfume do you have on? Those are always trying to sell you something. And it is always a timeshare. They are always trying to sell you a timeshare or incredibly expensive skincare. One or the other. Or jewelry. Yeah. It is either incredibly expensive skincare that is no better than Paula's Choice on Amazon, which is my personal favorite, or jewelry, or a timeshare. So just know, just if they're always like, "Oh, I love your dress." I'm like, "Thank you." No. And I walk on, or I act like a total bitch and just like snub them. I'm sorry, but and the thing is these places, they work a lot like something like Scientology would work. These young, attractive kids that are trying to sell you these things are like sleeping on the floor at night, half starved. I did a whole like story on it, and I need to go back and do it again because I mean it is unreal. I mean, it's just it's a scam, 100%, 100%. Don't do it. So, yeah, and if they want you to pay with gift cards, again, no. The only time you need to pay with a gift card is if, you have bought a gift card to a specific store, or like those Visa gift cards and you can go into Walmart or wherever and use those, restaurants, everything. But you're not going to pay your utilities or travel with a gift card. It's just not going to happen. So, or wire transfers, just don't do it. Just And if you can't verify it, don't book. It's a lie. It's a scam. Even, you might even end up there, but is it, are you really gonna be, hey, we were first class tickets too, weren't we, on that flight? It was first class. Yeah, I knew it was the airfare, but I had forgotten that it was first class tickets. Yeah, bring me another drink, y'all. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning and they are bringing champagne. And it looked like it was just orange juice, but there was champagne in those. And I took a big old gulp of that orange juice and about choked. I was not you know, I'm a whole lot better at it now. But at the time, I was not like somebody that traveled, I traveled, but not first class. Let's just put it that way. Okay, now we are down to romance scams. We are moving right along, y'all. So it's also called phishing, but I divided them up between, fake businesses and fake lovers, right? So, y'all, here's the deal. I, on average, get 5 friend requests a week, sometimes more, sometimes less, rarely that I don't get any. Okay. And they are always from heart surgeons or brain surgeons or very high ranking military, personnel. And they are always drop dead gorgeous. Never fails. Rich, you know, sounds too good to be true, right? I'm sure it is. I mean, and I don't mean this. I I think that I have a certain value, and I don't think that I'm not worth things. But I'm a 59-year-old woman who makes absolutely no secret of the fact that I'm happily married, that I'm a mother, a grandmother, a great grandmother, that I'm a breast cancer survivor, that I'm overweight, that I had a double mastectomy. And guess what, folks? I'm as flat as a pancake and proud of it. I don't have to wear a bra. How many women out there cannot wait till they get home to take that bra off? I don't have to put the damn thing on unless I want to. I got those little things you can stuff in there, and I could be any size I want, y'all. Any size I want. But I don't have anything in common with these quote unquote brain surgeries, brain surgeons, heart surgeons, and some kind of crazy general something something in the armed forces. We don't have any shared groups. We don't have any shared friends. I find it very difficult to believe that they're all on the lookout for me. Not that I don't think that I deserve, somebody to be on the lookout for me, preferably the man sitting in the recliner over there. But I mean, seriously, it's just one of those things that if it just, you know, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck, you know? And I don't know. I just I don't believe that these rich, gorgeous, perfect male specimens of a man have just fallen in love with nothing more than my profile picture. Because I keep my Facebook account locked down. Only the people that are my friends can see it. So he's not even able to like, look up stuff and see what I am and all that. It's all shut down except for my profile picture. That's all they can see. So I don't know. I don't get it. And again, I'm not putting myself down. I'm being realistic. Um, and almost every single time, that's all fake anyway. That person is not really the person behind the friends request. They have stolen somebody's picture. Now they can AI pictures. They can get AI pictures with actual proof of date in locations that they want them to be. If I can do this kind of crap, I mean, John is always saying that I'm so good on like Chat GPT that I can make, because I use it for my thumbnails. And I can do a lot of stuff on there, and I choose to make more cartoon things, but I can make very realistic pictures if I want to. And if I can do it, so can somebody that is trying to be nefarious, you know? So can they. So, if I don't have a clear connection with somebody, a a lot of I friend more people now because of the channel than I used to, but I still have to see that we have a lot of friends in common, that kind of thing before I accept everybody. And if we don't have some kind of clear connection, then it's just not going to happen. And we've just got to get smart about this stuff. We've got to do our research because they do. They do their research. And if they can get a hold of your friends list, they'll go and they will find that one friend or however many, but we've all got that one friend that will accept any friends request that comes their way. I for sure have one. Almost every one of these brain surgeons, heart surgeons, and colonels and crap in the military are friends with that one person. Now, she wouldn't scam anybody for all the money in the world, but she'd get scammed because she's just so kind-hearted that she does not believe that anybody is just inherently bad. She will find the good in everybody, which is just sad. So, but yeah, you just got to protect yourself. Now, the last one is the grifting YouTube creators, y'all. And most of the most YouTube creators anymore are monetized. It doesn't really take that much to get there. And a lot of us have our PayPal or other things linked. I have my PayPal linked. I have my wish list on Amazon is linked. They're linked because people have asked repeatedly for them. They're not there because I expect anything. I do accept super chats, but I'm not going to ask you for them. I mean, if you want to do it, fine. If not, it's not a big deal. I don't expect them. That's not why I'm here. So, but if you see a YouTube creator who constantly has that little ticker going across the bottom of the screen that lists their PayPal, their Cash App, their, you know, several different, you know, paying apps that you can pay to them, asking for donations, asking, they have a pay or a GoFundMe. All this stuff ticking across their screen on every video. Come on. That's a little much. And then if you a lot of these people I have noticed, they will slam other creators and say that they're grifting or that they're lying or that they're, you know, they're being mean to me and all this. And I'm not even talking about the obvious one that I talk about sometimes. I'm not talking about unrelatable Reese. I'm talking about others. I mean, she does that, yes, but I'm not being specific here. So, but they will. Some of these creators will make it seem like that they're the only one that you can trust and that they really need the money so that they can continue to do their work. But I'm going to spell this out, and it might piss people off, but I'm going to be completely honest with you. YouTube is free. If you are commenting or watching these videos, if you're on YouTube watching a video, you have a channel and you didn't have to pay for it. I don't pay for mine. YouTube is free. Now, there are free ways that you can make those videos. There are free versions of StreamYard. There are free versions of other things. You can make them with just a YouTube program, that are free. Now, they're not that great. You can't make many 3, 4, 5 hour videos every day for weeks and months on end. But you can do some. A lot of content creators that are just starting out do that. So now that I am monetized, I do have the ones that I have to pay for as far as to make my videos. And I have things that I have to pay for to make my thumbnails and to, do that kind of stuff. I have editing programs, which I really don't use the editing programs, but those editing programs do things. They also do things that I do use. So they're cost effective. But I do that because I am monetized, and the money that I get from Google pays for that. So if they're not making enough by ads and views and all of that, then they need to look for cheaper or free ways to make videos and not beg all their viewers to pay all their bills for them. And if that's shitty, then I'm just being shitty. And I'm not saying anything that I wouldn't think for my very self. If it gets to a point where I can't pay my own bills, then I'll start getting cheaper and cheaper programs to be able to pay my own YouTube related bills, whether I ever make a dime for myself or not. Now, that said, I do now make a few dollars, usually less than 300. It has been considerably more, 8, 900 a couple of times, but I use the versions that I pay for now. But again, I'm not asking you to pay for those. I'm not, hitting you up for PayPal and super chats and all of that. I'm just not gonna do it. Mark said he is. Mark wants super chats, y'all. Oh, we're gonna have to get Mark a go fund yourself. Yeah. Go fund yourself, Mark. Yeah, he's gonna figure it out with Veta. But anyway, but so I mean seriously, y'all, I don't mean to be ugly about it, but I am so tired of clicking on to different channels, and it is more like a commercial for poor pitiful me. I need money more than it is whatever information that they are supposed to be doing, even if it's entertainment. Now, I don't have a problem at all with people getting super chats, not at all. But you shouldn't ever feel pressured to do that. If you start feeling pressured to do it, or like this person needs this money, I need to do this, you need to really ask yourself if they need it, or is that grifting? Because there's a lot of it out there, and it's not just in this community, it's in a lot of communities. It's all over the place, and it's not just YouTube. Like I said, everybody and their dog has GoFundMe things going. And some of those people legitimately need them. But some don't. And they make the ones that do need it look bad. just like the ones that the YouTube creators that grift for super chats and all that stuff. They make the ones that aren't grifting look bad. They make us like feel like, oh, maybe I should take that option off, like so that nobody thinks that I am trying to get super chats. So I'm just telling you right now, if you want to send them, I'm going to accept them, but I am never going to ask for them. I am never going to tell you that I absolutely need them to pay my bills or to get a tattoo or to fly somewhere that I could easily drive to go to a court date that I don't have to be at. I mean, there are all these reasons that people need all this money. It's not going to happen here. If I have a legitimate need, I'll tell you. But it's just, well, maybe I'll tell you. I just don't see myself doing that, but maybe. So anyway, I am going to check these starred comments and see what everybody is talking about. So I'm checking in on a couple things. Yeah, he says I had not heard that it was. Let me take this off of the screen. Sorry, it's too much, too many words all of a sudden, right? I hadn't noticed that this was a bad year for scams. Maybe I've been scammed into thinking there's no scams. That's possible. Now, I won't lie. I was looking into stuff in the US. You're in Canada, so I don't know if it's as bad in Canada as it is here, but just be careful. Please, everybody, just be careful. I love Mark Rober's glitter traps for porch pirates. Do you know that here's something this really made me mad when I was studying this because it's a bunch of crap, y'all. This is a bunch of crap. But it is illegal. Illegal to booby trap your porch for porch pirates. I'm like, they're on my property. If they happen to get glittered or they happen to step under a random bucket of paint that fell off of a shelf above my door, I don't know. Not my problem. Shouldn't have been there. Oops, sorry. I hit the wrong one. Yeah, there's that one. Julia O'Connor says, I do my research before I donate. I am so glad, Julia. I really am. And I know you are very kind and generous. I know that. I I know that. I really do. I don't know to what extent, but I have seen that you are very kind and generous. There is a lot of people who are drug addicts who will panhandle for money. I avoid giving to them. The ones that bother me, I have never understood this, y'all. And if anybody knows, please, I'm not bashing anybody. I have a legitimate question here. I have never figured out how all these people that are on the corners of streets all have cardboard signs that are the same size. They all have Sharpies that they can, write on these signs. And I don't know. It just yeah, and now they're wearing those reflective jackets. Mark just needs to sign on and be my guest host. Uh, so B says mental health obviously creates the addict's addiction, genetics, etc. I'm torn on this one. I am too. I am too. I used to give change, but after watching the news where a woman lowered the window, she gave dollars. Let me see here. Oh, goodness. Yeah. Yeah. Not good. Yeah. We got to be careful. We just got to be careful. Okay. John says, I tried to give food to a homeless man who asked me for money and he threw it back at me. Yeah. I guess you got your answer there, right? Hey, look, it's Facebook Mom. The ones that that I don't like are the door-to-door people who won't take any cash, but they want you or they want to get your bank info. Yeah, and it will be withdrawn directly. Some of them are legit charities still. Don't do it. Absolutely. No. I'm not giving my bank information to anybody. I am just not. Right now, we've got one that Mark's got to call in. He's got to call in and check on it. How much was it, Mark? That one that I said I didn't do? No, I think it was like 189 something. It was like $190. We didn't do it. We didn't do it. So we got to get that figured out. Did it come out of the bank account? Oh, it came off of our card. Jeez. Ugh. Is it my card? Ugh. When I lived at my old condo building, they stole several packages. Julia, I can imagine. I mean, it happens in good neighborhoods, bad neighborhoods. It happens everywhere. It is awful. John says, "Yep, glitter bombs work." A threat, though. Yeah. Can you believe that it's illegal in some places to do that? I know it is in Tulsa because I looked it up. It's just absolutely crazy. I keep wondering about the buy one bracelet and we'll feed 10 dogs deal. Yeah, right? I think I would rather take a bag of dog food to my local shelter. I would feel like safer with that. I don't know. Have you ever heard to not answer with hello or yes if an unfamiliar number? They could actually use that against you apparently. I have heard that. I have heard that they will try to they will try to ask you yes and no questions and they will record your yes and no and, you know, put it into other deals. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah, you never know. You just got to be careful. You just I don't answer any number that I don't know. I just don't. So I even tell people that I give my number to text me first and say this is so and so. This is John, this is Jan, this is whoever. I'm going to call you and so then I'll answer. But if I don't know the number, I don't answer it. I just don't. They can leave a message if it's important. Marie says, "Yeah, if I don't recognize the name or number, I don't answer the phone. We still have a landline. That's how old I am." They'll leave a message if it's important. Absolutely. You're not old to have a landline. A lot of people still have them. Maybe not a lot, but some people. Yeah. Marilee says, "Julia, sure are a lot of Brad Pitts on Facebook." Oh, I know, right? And they're looking for me and you and. Julia says, "I don't like fake accounts on Facebook. I have seen way too many fake celebrity accounts." Oh, yeah, constantly, constantly. You know, there used to be that you could tell if they had that little check that said that they were verified, that it had actually been verified that it was them. But even people even got around that. You just pay so much to be verified. So, yeah. There are YouTube channels by people who scam the scammers. Some try to keep the scammers on as long as they can. One person kept a scammer on the phone for well over 2 hours. That would be fun. That would be fun. Sometimes I will admit there have been times that I have kind of pranked them a little bit. I will kind of play along for a minute, but now I just don't have I don't have the bandwidth to do it. I just don't care enough. So my short says I like those catching the scammer YouTube channels. One guy is really good at it. Forget his name. I have to watch those. I used to watch some of those, but I haven't watched them in a long time. Julia says there are several deep fake accounts. A friend of mine in Italy, Romina Castelli, had, oh my gosh, 1,500 stolen. Oh my goodness. That's awful. Hey, Sai. What about the packages on the porch? Would think that it is allowed as it is your property and nobody should touch them without your permission. That's what I thought too, but I read it in several places, and including, in a Tulsa thing, that it is illegal to booby trap them. Now, I don't know what degree of booby trap it would be. Like if you're doing something that's going to hurt them, I could understand that. But if they come up here, there's no telling. If they get caught here, they're not going to be happy. Yeah, Sai said she'd rather donate to a local shelter. Yeah, than want a bracelet and T-shirts and whatnot. Absolutely, I absolutely get that. Me too. I really would. So, I mean, even those that like the ones with the kids and all that, where if you do this, you get a teddy bear, or you get a throw, or you get a T-shirt or something. Well, they're having to buy those throws and teddy bears and T-shirts with money that's donated. So I would just rather donate to something and not get that stuff than than for them to spend part of the money that we're donating to help dogs or people, or whatever. I don't want my money to go to buy T-shirts. If I want a T-shirt, I'll go buy one. In this day and age, we can have them made that say whatever we want to say anyway. So, yeah. So, anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and go. We are almost an hour and 22 minutes. So, I'm going to go. I haven't had dinner yet, and I don't even know if Mark ate. We're kind of just doing leftovers tonight. So, anyway, I'm going to go. I will be back tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed the show, so glad you were here. We meet here most days, we're but first coffee and you're welcome here. We talk about hard subjects, but we also laugh a lot. If you have a loss or win, we will cheer for you. We're but first coffee and you are safe here. So hit those like and subscribe buttons, notifications set to all. You don't want to miss a show, because this is your home to y'all. So hit those like and subscribe buttons, notifications set to all. You don't want to miss a show, because this is your home to y'all. So hit those like and subscribe buttons.